Okay, turn number 3. Let's go ahead and attempt to activate this equipment card in our right hand, the disinfectant. Let's see what our roll is. Oh boy, we rolled a 2. A 2 is not good for us at all. Look at that. That is going to be a -4 time. So with cards like this, the chance of reward is very great, but the chance of tragedy is also commensurately greater. So, wow. Well, we're going to lose 4 minutes of time. Or we could do that randomness mitigation that I talked about earlier. If you want, we can pay 2 time and return the top equipment card from the draw deck back to the box. So we'd basically be giving up one unknown piece of equipment. But in return for that, we would acquire this bonus cube. We'd be able to put it here in this pocket watch. And then, it's not an action. If we wanted to spend that bonus cube, we could re-roll the dice or we could flip it. And I'm thinking that that's actually worth doing because rather than losing 4 time, we'd only lose 2 time. We would, of course, have to give up one of these cards, and we wouldn't know what that is. Permanently remove it from the game. That's a high cost. But, you know what? I'm thinking it's worth it because we could flip this die to a 5 and earn 2 red cubes. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let us pay 2 minutes of time, 1, 2. And this top card from our draw deck, we don't know what that is, but that's going to go back to the box. That's permanently removed from the game. And now we earn this bonus cube. And now, because it's not an action, we can pay that bonus cube. So I'm paying you that bonus cube right now. And that will give me the opportunity. I want to flip this die right now from a 2 to its other side, which is a 5. And what that means is we earn, if it's 5, the roll is 5, we earn 2 red cubes. So we discard this card. We earn 2 red cubes. And I'm feeling good about that decision, even though it was a high cost, because we've turned potentially a very bad situation into a much better situation for us. Turn. For our second action of this turn, we can attempt to clean some more evidence. So we've got these 2 red cubes, and I'm going to go ahead and place them on this murder weapon. So now we just need 1 more red cube, and then we totally clean that murder weapon from the crime scene. Action number 3. Let's go ahead and try to activate these cloths in our left hand. We get a 4. What does a 4 get us? It gets us 1 yellow cube. And action number 4, we're going to go ahead and place this 1 yellow cube where we think it's going to do the most good. Great. All 4 actions done. Refresh phase. Let's make sure that we activated this card. That gets discarded. So now, let's go on to the next turn, action phase. We are going to take these cards and we're going to go ahead and try to place an equipment card. So what are our options here? We have borax, and that is going to give us a chance for some orange cubes. There's a card special action here which we can read. You may combine the borax and a bucket of water to create 1 cube of any color. That's pretty cool. Or we can use some cloths. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to place the borax equipment card here, and these cloths get discarded. That was our first action. And for our second action, I'd also like to try to activate that card. Oh boy. Wow, we rolled a 2. Well, what happens here? A 2 is going to give us -1 time. So, I'm just going to go ahead and take that time penalty. So that card gets discarded. Our time goes to 57. That was our second action. For our third action, we'd like to go ahead and place another equipment card, but we've only got 1 remaining. We need 2, so we're going to go ahead and take the discard, and we're going to go ahead and shuffle those to form a new draw deck. All right. So let's take the top 2 cards of this brand new draw deck. And we've got Scrub Brush. You may combine the Scrub Brush and a bucket of water to create 1 cube of any color. And this is borax. You may combine that with a bucket of water. So either of these are good. I like the orange cubes right now, so I'm going to go ahead and place the orange cubes in my left hand and discard that Scrub Brush. For my fourth and last action, I'm going to attempt to, no, you know what? I'm not going to activate that. I'm just going to go ahead and try to place another equipment card. So next, top two cards. Hopefully one of these is a bucket of water. Look at that. Water bucket and cloths. So take a look at this borax. I have the option of combining the borax and a bucket of water to create one cube of any color. So these two are pretty powerful. Good team putting them together. So I'm going to equip those two guys, and then this card gets discarded. So those are my 4 actions for this turn. Okay, on this new turn, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to use this combo action here, this card action. I'm going to combine this borax card and this water bucket, and that's going to give me the ability to create one cube of any color. And that one cube of any color that I want to create is red. And I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2 cards because I used them. I used a card special action. And then this red cube here, I'm going to place it on the murder weapon. And that means that I complete everything of the requirements to be able to clean that one tile from the game board. All right, let's keep on going. What's our second action? We've got nothing in hand, so I think it makes sense for us to try to place an equipment card. So we're going to take a look at the top 2 cards of the draw deck. What are our options here? We've got the cloths. We've got these rubber gloves back again. The cost for using these rubber gloves is still too high. It wants me to sacrifice 3 cards from the draw deck. Don't think it's the right time yet. We've still got quite a bit of time here. So we're just going to go ahead and place these cloths in our left hand. This guy gets discarded. For our third action, let's go ahead and, you know what? For our third action, we're going to go ahead and try to activate these cloths. So let's hope we roll high. Yes, we rolled a 6. What do we get? By using these cloths really efficiently and really well skilled way, we get 2 yellow cubes and +1 time. That's what I like to see. So we move the time +1 and we get 2 yellow cubes. And let's not forget to discard this card that we used. For our fourth and final action of this turn, I think it makes sense to attempt to clean more evidence. So let's place these yellow cubes where they're going to do some good. This broken mirror requires 2 yellow cubes, and so we've gone ahead and covered those. 1 more orange cube, and then we can remove that broken mirror from the crime scene. Refresh phase. So we've made sure that all of our equipment cards that were used up have been discarded, and now the sweet part is we get to clean this evidence from this crime scene. So I'm going to put those orange cubes back in the supply, put these red cubes back in the supply, and this murder weapon tile can now leave the crime scene. Now that we've played a few turns and you've gotten a sense of what the gameplays look like, what the action phase looks like, the refresh phase, I'm going to keep on playing off camera and get us close to the end, get us very close to the police investigation stage so that I can show you guys what that looks like. I'll check back with you in a few. Okay, welcome back. I kept on playing. Let me get you up to speed on where I am at this point. So we've done really well. We are down to 2 pieces of evidence left at the crime scene uncleaned. This one is partially cleaned. It's only got 1 yellow spot remaining, and this one has 2 yellows and 1 orange. So we have actually cleaned this many evidence tiles from the crime scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the all-important victim tile 7, and the all-important murder weapon 8. So we've cleaned that many pieces of evidence tiles from the crime scene, which is doing really well. But if you take a look at our time tracker, we are down to 3 minutes left before the police arrive. So here's what happens when you get down to about this point in the game. If at any point during the action phase your time tracker cube lands on the last space on the time tracker, the police arrive, arrest you at the crime scene, and you lose the game. So before time runs out, you must declare, before starting the next turn, that you are leaving the crime scene. And when you do that, you discard all your remaining equipment cards and unplaced effort cubes, and proceed to part 2, the police investigation. Here's how things will work in the police investigation phase. The more evidence we left behind, the more chances we give the police to find that evidence, and the worse it's going to be for us. So for each evidence tile we left behind at the scene, we're going to simultaneously roll a number of d6s matching the number of unclean spaces on that tile. So for example, if you take a look at this evidence tile here, it has 1, 2, 3 uncleaned evidence spaces. So we take 3d6 and we're going to roll 3d6. Okay, and now we match the, we take a look at the table in the rules, and we say, well, if the tile is yellow, the police would find that evidence on a roll of 1. And if a tile is orange, the police would find that evidence on a roll of 1 or 2. So this roll is actually really good for us because we can now place these dice and match them and see if the police find that evidence. So this roll of 2, I'm going to place this on this yellow tile here. That means the police didn't find that. This roll of 3, I'm going to place it on this yellow tile here. The police don't find that either. And this roll of 4, I'm going to place it on this orange. Those police would have found it if that had been a 1 or a 2. So guess what? The police did not find this evidence that we left behind at the crime scene for this tile. And now, if we look at this last remaining tile here, we've only got 1 yellow piece of uncleaned evidence. So we'll take 1d6, and we have a really good chance of the police not finding that evidence because they'll only find it if we roll a 1 on this roll. And of course, I'm unlucky. I'll jinx this. Watch me roll a 1 on this one. Here we go. And as it turns out, I did in fact jinx this, and we did in fact roll a 1. So the police find that 1 piece of evidence. Okay, so here's how we resolve this. Police didn't find any evidence of this tile. That means we can now effectively remove this tile from the crime scene. Police didn't find that evidence. The police did find 1 piece of evidence here. Let's resolve what that means. If the police find evidence on an evidence tile, place a number of dice on that tile matching the number of pieces of evidence. So they found 1 piece of evidence, so we're going to leave that dice there. And once you've resolved all evidence tiles and marked with the dice, all the pieces of evidence found in the police will proceed to scoring. Okay, now it's time to find out my score. So how do we figure out the score? Number 1, take your remaining time in minutes when you declared you were leaving the crime scene. So as you'll recall, I had 3 minutes left when I declared I was leaving the crime scene. So that's a 3. And then add 20 if you played on insane difficulty. I didn't. Add 10 if you played on hard difficulty. I didn't. Subtract 10 if you played on easy difficulty. So we played on normal difficulty, so no modifier there. And then subtract from your score the corresponding values in the table below for each piece of evidence found by the police. If they found 1 yellow piece of evidence, subtract from score -2. So I had 3 because of my remaining time, -2 because of this evidence found by the police. I have a total score for this game of 1. And now let's take a look at the rules and see what a score of 1 means. So, if you scored 1 to 9, your rating is sanitation worker. Other cleaners would, quote, wipe the floor, quote, with you. So, after this one demo game, I turned out to be a sanitation worker. And that was my playthrough of my game and Janine Viglietti's game, The Cleaner. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video where we took you through the components, game setup, and playthrough of the game The Cleaner, co-designed by me and my partner in crime, Janine Viglietti, our entry to the 2018 Solitaire Print and Play contest. I'll put download links where you can download the files and the rules in the description of this video. Until next time, this has been Martin. Thanks for watching.